What's going on YouTube? It's Adam from Beyond the Grid. Welcome back to my channel for another Lightroom tutorial. Today's tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to create that bright white look using the mobile Lightroom app.
But if you close your eyes.
So Instagrammers and bloggers have been using this bright white look honestly since the start of Instagram. And there's a million reasons why, but the main reasons are because it's clean, it's minimalistic, so you don't have to have a lot going on in the photo to really enhance what you're doing. Number 3 is it's bright, so when you're scrolling through the feeds, you see this photo and it kind of stands out against everyone else's profiles. Number 4 is it increases contrast in your photo, so whatever you're trying to highlight really stands out and showcases that exactly. And number 5 is it creates a beautiful skin tone, so again, you stand out in your photos and people start to notice. So let's jump into Lightroom. I'm going to show you guys how to create this bright white look. But if you guys are someone who wants to create this theme on your guys' Instagram and you want to save a ton of time editing, I'm going to leave a link down below to my collection of 10 bright white presets that'll save you a ton of time in editing and keep your theme consistent across all of your photos. But for now, let's jump into the tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to edit right now. So now that we're in Lightroom, the first panel we're going to go after is the light areas. So let's pop in there real quick. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down my shadows a little bit. I'm going to bump up my whites a tiny bit, my blacks, and a little bit less on the contrast. Actually, let's bring the contrast up a tiny bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Highlights, we'll leave that now for where it is. Let's go over to your color. The most areas we're going to be touching here is I want to warm it up just a little bit. So let's say +5. Tint, we'll leave where it is. Let's bring up our saturation to, let's say, +35 looks pretty good right there for now. And our vibrancy to +5. So let's go to our mix. So with the red, what we're going to do first is we want to add a little bit of a 10 into this. So I'm going to bring up the saturation a little bit, bring the hue over to the orange, say 10, and our luminancy down. So what the luminancy down is going to do is it's going to create a darker color. So let's go over to your yellows, or sorry, your oranges. So I'm going to bring up my saturation just a little bit, let's say +20. I'm going to bring down my luminancy, and let's bring the hue just to about, let's say -5, and let's bump that saturation up a little bit more. Let's go +25. Let's go over to our yellows. Again, bring up the saturation just a little bit. Our luminancy down, I want to bring this down quite a bit because I want to get a little bit of the yellow out of our skin. Greens, let's bump that up just a tiny bit. Not too much of luminancies or anything. Here, I want to go to aquas a little bit to the blue because I want to bring that sky back to the blue so it really stands out against her. So let's bring up a little bit of saturation. Let's say +13. So here for the blues, let's bring up this to, let's say +21. Our hue, let's bring that to 10. And our luminancy, let's drop that down just a little bit to, let's say, -10. Our magentas, let's go, or sorry, our purples, let's bring this hue up to a +15, saturation to a -10. Our magentas, let's go +10, and then +5 for your saturation. And that looks pretty good as that. Let's go to your effects. Let's go bring the clarity down a little bit, let's say -10, because I want it to be soft. That's the reason why I'm bringing the clarity down, is because I want it to be softer. Dehaze, let's bring that up to, let's say, +10. And yeah, the rest of the stuff we'll leave for now. Split toning, I want to go highlights just a little bit on the yellow. Let's say saturation 10 and hue 38. That looks pretty good. Shadows, I want to add a little bit into the blue. So let's go 185. Actually, let's go a little more. 198 and 2. Just a tiny bit, so it's not really too much. Let's go to your details. Let's bring up your sharpening. Say +30. Masking, let's bring that up. So if you guys see what I just did there, if you guys are moving the slider around and then you guys actually hold the screen down, you guys can actually see what you're going to be sharpening. So I'm going to bring that up and just really fine tune all the lines. That looks pretty good there. Let's go down. Let's bring up a noise reduction just a little bit. Let's say +12. Contrast noise reduction up to 6. Color noise reduction, let's go with a +6. That way your colors don't bleed and there's no weird lines in your colors. Now let's go over to your light panel and let's come into your curves. So I'll start with the basic curve. This is all your RGBs. And what we're gonna do for this one is we're gonna do a mild little tiny bit of here. So I'm gonna bring right here down a little bit. And I'm gonna bring that middle just back up like that. Let's go over to your reds. And this is gonna where it's gonna look really weird. So let's go right there. Let's bring you up a little bit, just a tiny bit. And let's bring you down a little bit. Not too much. Let's go with right about there. And then you, I'm actually gonna bring right there. So it's just, that middle one is just above perfect middle. So let's go over to my greens. So again, pop one right there. Let's go a little bit high up on here. Just a tiny bit there. And let's bring you down a little bit. Let's go over to your blues. So again, dot in the middle, up there. And let's go down right about there. A little bit up. Right about there looks pretty good. Now let's go back into our color panel and let's adjust a couple of the colors. So she's a little bit odd. Let's go here. So we can actually bring that up if we wanted to, but let's go down a little tiny bit. Let's bring down our saturation a tiny bit. Let's bring this guy over to right about there. Now let's go over to our yellows and let's bring that luminancy right down. Let's say -50 or saturation. Let's see what we can do. Let's say 20. And that looks pretty good. Let's go to our reds for a second. Let's bring this guy over here, -3. What does it do when I do that? So there we go. That looks pretty good. Let's say -11, mainly because that's my favorite number, so that's besides the point. Let's bring our luminancy down just a little bit. Let's say 20. And let's take a quick before and after. So let's go before and after. So she's still a little bit odd. So let's go back into our light real quick. Let's go to our reds and let's move this guy just a little more down. There we go. So let's take a little look at before and after. So as you guys can see, this theme is not hard to recreate. You just need to be playing with your RGB tone curves, and that's how you're gonna fine tune and get that skin color perfect. If you guys don't know anything about that, check out my video above. It's not done yet. It's gonna be done pretty quickly here, but it will pop up above. Now, if you guys want to recreate this theme and keep it consistent across all of your photos, but you guys want to save a ton of time in editing, go ahead and check down the link below. It's going to link you over to where you guys can pick up my 10 preset collection that is designed to create that bright white look and recreate that beautiful skin tan. So it's going to have your photos editing from something like this into something like this, or from something like this into something like this. So go ahead and check out the link down below for that collection. But if you guys found this video helpful at all, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. If you guys are not a subscriber, I mean, why aren't you? Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everybody.